Tanny YouTube, this is your girl Megan. Welcome back to the Hood Astro Queen to all of my returning subscribers. However, if this is your first time on my channel today, be sure to hit that subscribe button because you know you want to. Also, while you're at it, be sure to hit that notification bell. That way you'll be alerted whenever I make a new post. And finally, if you are interested in receiving a astrology birth chart reading, be sure to hit me up at Astro, ASTRO, world, WERLD, at gmail.com, and we can get you squared away on today. All right. So, with that being said, happy Friday's Eve. I hope you guys are staying strong, holding it down, kicking capitalism in the ass as we end another work week. All right. And with that being said, I wanted to do yet another celebrity birth chart reading. And I mean, I guess you can consider this person a celebrity. She's famous enough. But lately, it's been all the rage in the YouTube streets. Everybody's talking about ItslovelyMimi, all right? So for those of you all who are not familiar with her, she is I guess did she start on Instagram or Vine? She's like a social media figure, if you will, public figure. She got her rise to fame back during the Vine era, or maybe even, like I said, the Instagram era. And she would upload clips, like upload videos. And her appeal was the fact that she is Vietnamese or visibly Asian, right? However, she talks, acts, and pretty much, is perceived and shows up in the world like a black woman, quote unquote. So she was very hood, very ghetto, and a lot of people were just, so you know how the black community is. When we see anything we consider exotic or other, people are so fascinated, so drawn in. And then she began posting like little, I guess you could say, comedy clips and, things of that nature. Then she opened her own nail salon. I think she's even been on Wild 'N Out. She has her own YouTube channel where she does like this mukbang kind of style format, as well as like a daily blog or vlog. So like she is very well rounded. She does a lot of different things, and she's attracted quite the following over the years. So recently it came to light that she and her husband of 10 years, Remy, are going through a divorce/separation. Okay. And this was revealed to us when Remy hopped his ass on his YouTube channel and did a tell-all of sorts, detailing the ins and outs of his relationship with Mimi. He revealed that she had an addiction to gambling, that fame changed her, allegedly, as he said, and that they weren't doing so well. And she was fed up with having to carry all of the financial weight in the marriage and therefore kicked him the fuck out. Okay. And yeah, so a lot of people were upset with Mimi. Now, Mimi received a lot of pushback, and she held her tongue on the situation for a while. But over the last week, she released her very own video detailing her own account of the relationship and what went wrong with it. And so you have some people who take Remy's side, a lot more people, I would say, taking her side. But of course, she's the more famous individual. So a lot of their fan base is like split. Everybody has their own opinion about the situation. And so I thought it would be a good idea to take a look at her birth chart and really get down to the bottom of things. So without further ado, let's get started. All right. So Mimi was born on April 27th, 1990. And I got this date from her actual IG page. If you Google it right online, it'll say that she was born August the 20th or something like that. Well, on her Instagram page, she states that there was some type of mix-up. And I'm assuming it's because she's an immigrant. Okay, so there was some type of mix-up in her actual birth date. But she's actually born on April the 27th. She confirmed that herself, all right? So that's where I got the date from. And she actually is from Vietnam. So she and her parents actually migrated to America while she was still a very, very small child. So with that being said, Mimi is a Taurus sun, Gemini moon, and of course we don't have her time of birth, but we're gonna still make shit work because that's what we do. So with that in mind, her being a Taurus with her Taurus sun at the 6th degree points towards a lot of things. It definitely makes sense why Mimi is definitely like such a hustler, because this could create a lover of money. You know, Taurus is very big on financial security and they place a lot of value on money. And sis is definitely like, she hustles. She hustles, like, period, you know, from the IG comedy to the YouTube. I think she even did Love and Hip Hop. So she's been very vocal about the fact that she's always been determined to run her very own business, and she's been an entrepreneur from a very early age. This also explains her love for food, which she incorporates a lot, as I stated before, on her YouTube channel. She's always doing a mukbang. She's always cooking too. She's cooking for family and friends, but we'll get to that as well. But that's definitely very much Taurus energy. Her Taurus sun also makes her a very practical and grounded human being, which is excellent for accumulating material, wealth, and possessions. Once again, so going back into that thing of, or that facet of security in some form. It also makes her a very hard worker, and it endows her with a very distinct set of creative and artistic abilities, which, I mean, even when it comes to her doing nails, being a nail tech, her work is fabulous. You know, she's super creative. She's always coming up with new ideas for nails. And if I'm not mistaken, she's recently gotten into music. So, and she's not half bad. And I'm very skeptical of people who kind of transition into music careers later on in life. But she's actually pretty good. Also, her Taurus sun could also point towards her needing safety and security in other forms, such as emotional security and things of that nature. It also makes her a very down-to-earth and humble person. And of course, like most Tauruses, rather resistant to change. And as the sun can deal with the husband, it does make sense why she was in this marriage for about 10 years before she just came out and admitted she was fucking miserable. But there's more to that as well. So we'll get to that. And then last but not least, it could also make her rather reliable. Now, her sun is forming a sextile to her Jupiter in Cancer, which deals with her migrating, or she and her family taking long voyages to new lands. I think they're from, like I said, Vietnam, but taking that trip to America, because there's this need with Cancer and Jupiter to establish new roots. This aspect can also point towards her successfully capitalizing on integrating into another culture. You know, her integrating into, and I think she lived in DC once she got to America. So integrating into like black culture. And DC is actually the hub of black culture, one of the hubs, you know, and even I look at this as taking on a lot of like those African American isms and things of that nature. Although with her Jupiter being conjoined to Chiron, it could be rather fake or disingenuous. This could also deal with her marrying into a different race. Obviously, her husband is black. And it also points towards her idealizing her father, as well as her father being a pastor or being a very religious figure, which is funny because in one of her YouTube videos, because I've been watching her channel, I was binge watching it like recently, she mentioned that her dad actually was a pastor, and that she's very, very religious. I noticed that in her video too. One of her videos, she's very religious. And that's very much Jupiter in Cancer, because these people have very close and strong emotional bonds with their system of belief, you know, their spirituality or their religion. And it could be possible that it's something that they were comforted with very early in life, so they're naturally going to cling on to it. And Mimi is definitely no different. Also, that Jupiter in Cancer could also deal with her wanting to create her own universal family, you know, nurturing other people. And her house is one big fucking like melting pot of people. She's always having people in her house. She's always caring for other people. And I think she even alluded to it herself. Like, you know, she looks at her friends and everybody around her as her family, which could absolutely be to her detriment. But we're going to get to that later. But that her Jupiter being conjoined to Chiron could definitely point towards this sense of like wanting her own universal family. Like, it could backfire. You know what I'm saying? There could be a lot of disingenuity surrounding it, a lot of dysfunction surrounding it. And like I said, we're kind of going to expand on that because she has other indicators of that in her chart as well. And then also this Sun sextile Jupiter in Cancer could even deal with her purchasing that big ass house, because she has like a 5-room mansion with a pool and so on and so forth. Now her Sun is forming a sextile to her Mars in Pisces, which deals with her like being a successful business owner when it comes to her nail shop, being very successful in her cosmetology and creative pursuits. Her sun is trining her Uranus in Capricorn, which points towards her having a passion and natural skill for being a hustler. So it's reinforcing that energy signature. It points towards her ability to make money and work hard, and even utilizing the internet, because that's that Uranus. That's that Uranus energy signature there, the internet, right? Social media, utilizing it to her advantage and increasing her status, increasing her recognition, and making money from that. It could also point towards her having a natural skill for manifesting success. Uranus is the planet of manifestation. She's definitely going to be kind of lucky in that regard. She definitely has a strong sense of luck. Also, I forgot to mention, her sun forming a sextile to that Jupiter and Cancer could also make her very, very, very in tune with her ancestors. She has a lot of indicators in her chart of her being very like plugged in, like her ancestors play a very strong role in her life, in her success. Whether I'm not really sure how spiritual she is. I know she's religious, but just from a spiritual aspect, because there's a difference. A different video for a different day. I'm not sure how aware she is of that component, but yeah, she's very much in tune with her ancestors, and they endow her with a lot of gifts. Now, her sun trining Neptune does reinforce her career as a nail tech, as well as her strong creative abilities. And it can even make her talented or give her a strong interest in makeup. All right. She's also a Gemini moon. And this Gemini moon actually is very strongly, like, I feel like she exudes a lot of this energy. Because number one, it could deal with her having a very unstable upbringing, a childhood that was full of movement. And as she described, once they got to America, she said they were in a refugee camp or whatever, what have you. Like, there was basically a lot of moving around, a lot of, things were constantly in motion. A lot of Gemini moon individuals have some sort of unstable kind of childhood in a way. Also, this could point towards her having mental issues. And we're going to get to that in a little bit later too, but I think she definitely has some type of mental health problem. It could also deal with her being bisexual, which I think she's spoken on herself. She admitted to having threesomes with her husband. It also makes her a very bright, chipper people person. She's very talkative, witty, outgoing. All of this is that Gemini moon, and it can make her very youthful too. And actually, sidebar, she had her mom on her channel. Her mom is damn near 70 years old, but she looks very, very good for her age, okay? It can also make her a contrarian of sorts. And that's that on that. Now, her Mars, let's talk about the breakup, okay? Because looking at her chart, there were several things that I was like, okay. So her Mars is at the 22nd degree of Pisces, right? And in a woman's chart, Mars deals with the men in your life, in addition to the sun. But this right here could point towards her having an alcoholic husband, okay, dealing with an addict of some sort, which is very funny because she mentioned that he drank a lot. And I think Remy even admitted himself that he drank a lot at some points. This kind of made a lot of things make sense, because it can also point towards Mimi having substance issues herself, as it could create a very addictive personality. So this could also attribute to her being addicted to gambling. She's also a Leo South node, so that has something to do with that as well. However, nonetheless, her Mars in Pisces also points towards her dealing with a liar. Like, her husband could be a liar, cheater, and a thief, which is very ironic because she mentioned that he was stealing from her business. She mentioned that he lied to her, that he spent the whole relationship cheating on her. And a lot of people, some people didn't believe her. But, looking at this Mars in Pisces, I absolutely believe it. It also points towards Remy being a drug dealer. It can point towards him being incarcerated at some point. This could also, especially at the 22nd degree, could point towards her being controlled by Remy at different points in the relationship. People who have their Mars in Pisces typically feel the need to save other people due to their selfless nature. And I definitely feel like this could have been true with Mimi. Pisces is a self-martyrer. These people are very charitable, but often to their own detriment. They lack self-preservation skills and can even find it very hard to be independent. And also, I found this to be kind of interesting because she even admitted herself that she needed relationships. You know, that her eldest son, she had with from a prior relationship, and she didn't spend a lot of time alone in between, right before she got with Remy, and she just felt like she always needed to be in a relationship. So that's very true. That's very much this Pisces Mars energy. This could also deal with her not wanting to live alone, which she also mentioned. She often states how big her house is, and she doesn't want to be by herself in that house. However, Mimi is going to have to learn that she needs time alone, because Mars and Pisces needs that time, because Pisces governs the 12th house, which deals with isolation. And although, of course, being an isolationist 100% of the time is not healthy, it's very important for these people to spend time in seclusion to really channel their own and get to know their own energies, because they can be so easy. They're psychic sponges, and they can easily be affected by other people, you know? So that's another manifestation. Pisces Mars could also point towards her having a very hard time accepting reality. And it could deal with her being a very, have like a very skewed sense of reality and being kind of out of touch with it at times. It can also give her a rather low sex drive, which is very funny because she admitted that towards the end of their relationship, she couldn't even have sex with her husband unless she was drunk. That's that Pisces energy as well. Having drunk sex, or feeling like you have to, like things have to be just right in order for you to be sexual. Pisces can be abstinent for very long periods of time. Also, another energy signature of her Pisces Mars is her feeling trapped in the relationship, which several points throughout that video that she recorded defending herself in regards to the relationship, she spoke about how she's free. She kept saying, I'm free. I'm free. That's that release. That's that release that's felt, you know, as a Pisces Mars individual. Because, I mean, Pisces does deal with imprisonment. You know, these people can very much feel confined. And her Venus is in Pisces as well. So she has like a double dose of that. So I can only imagine, like, she definitely probably felt trapped in that relationship. That's probably why she's just so, like, she keeps saying she's so free now, you know. And then finally, this could also point towards her being, or reinforce her being very religious and spiritual. Now, her moon is squaring her Mars, which makes a lot of sense based off of the things she was saying in her video. Because a manifestation of this aspect could be her opening her home up to other people due to an inability to be by herself. So having family, other people, like her house being this kind of like slick rehabilitation center for different people, different souls, but it's going to be to her detriment. So this aspect can make her victimized by the people in her home, even by her own husband. It can cause her, actually, Pisces represents theft. So things could come up missing in her home. I wouldn't be surprised if these people are stealing from her. Okay. And it's funny because I noticed a lot of people in the comment section under her videos were very adamant about her getting away from all of the people in her home, because she does open her house to like family, friends, co-workers, people who work in her nail shop. She opened her home to Remy's family. This aspect points towards that being a very bad idea. And not only is it a bad idea, sis is getting swindled left and right. She's getting fucked over and fucked on left and right. Mark my words. And I think she even said that Remy's brother stole from her or something like that. But I guarantee you this aspect is more than Remy's brother. She needs to check them friends too. Quit having everybody in your house, sis. Also, her moon squaring her Mars in Pisces definitely reaffirms her having a mental health problem. I think she has some sort of personality disorder. And Remy released a video where she was screaming frantically at him, like it looked like she was having a meltdown. I mean, screaming at the top of her lungs about him not sitting next to her in a movie theater or something. And he was like, did you take your medicine? Did you take your medicine? And I think he was trying to throw her under the bus by exposing her for having mental health issues, but I'm kind of not really surprised that Gemini moon makes her very high strung. So when afflicted, especially with her Pisces Mars, it could absolutely create a whole personality disorder. I wouldn't even be surprised if she had like breaks from reality, or she went through like psychosis or some shit. So that's fitting. It could also deal with her having difficulties living with her husband, which is pretty obvious. She stated that. It can also point towards her having issues that stem from a lack of boundaries, her having no boundaries with family, friends, loved ones, and especially her husband. Now, her Venus is in Pisces at the 4th degree, so a double dose of that Piscean energy. So it's reinforcing a lot of these themes of victimization, selflessness, her being a martyr, her opening herself up to people, especially relationships, and where she's dealing with a liar. I wouldn't even be surprised if Remy was a full-blown con artist. It definitely reinforces him being an addict. It reinforces him being a liar. And at the very least, he could have even been incapacitated in some way or incapable as far as finances goes, leaving her to pick up the slack, which she definitely admitted. So all of this is very much fitting. I don't think she's lying about any of these things. Venus in Pisces also creates a kind of insulation from poverty. So these people can be naturally gifted when it comes to making money. Just blessed. They can find that money comes to them very easily, or that they're taken care of. However, if they're not careful, they can lose the money just as quickly as they got it. And Venus in Pisces does create an expensive, kind of like expensive taste, similar to her sun in Taurus. So yeah, she can very much love luxurious things. If these birds don't shut the fuck up, y'all, I'm on my balcony, excuse me, I'm outside. They is just like doing too much. Now, her Venus in Pisces could also produce her love for music, her flair for creativity. It could also produce a love for cosmetics, and she's also very big on makeup. She gets her makeup done very often, and not just any kind of makeup. Pisces is all about fantasy. It's all about even like cosplay. Is that how you say it? Cosplay, dressing up, illusions, right? So she's very big on dressing up, like in different characters. I think she even had her makeup done like a Bratz doll. So all of that's very Venus in Pisces. Now, her Venus is forming a sextile to her Saturn, which points towards her having it reinforces her successful career as in the beauty industry. Also, her making money as a nail tech, but then also it could deal with her employing friends and family, even Remy, and she stated several times that she gave the man a job. Her Venus trining her Pluto at the 16th degree of Scorpio, and that number 16 deals with tragedy, tragic circumstances. And not for nothing, her Venus is 1 degree off from the fixed star Markhab, which can produce evil associates. Okay, evil associates, as well as excess. With Pisces, this could be excess of alcohol, drugs, substances. Once again, reinforcing her being married to an addict of some sort. I think Remy is an alcoholic, because I know she mentioned his mom drinking a lot, and I think Remy admitted that he drank a lot. I think Remy is an alcoholic. It also could deal with him, or it deals with her having some very fucked up friends too. Her being around a lot of fucked up people, and it just reinforces this theme of her needing to get away from. She needs to cut ties with a lot of people in her life, not just Remy. However, with her Venus trining her Pluto, she has a tendency to be deeply fused, right? Pluto fuses things together, a very deeply fused connection with her loved ones, which makes it very hard for her to separate herself from them, because she can see them as an extension of herself. Okay, and I think that's another reason that she stayed around Remy so long. It makes her very extremely passionate when it comes to the people that she loves, her wanting to be everything to everybody, which we all know is impossible. This could also point towards her minor enhancements, like physical, like surgery or cosmetology surgery or whatever, because I think she got her ass done, her titties done, she got a tummy tuck, and so on and so forth. Her Mercury is at the 16th degree of Taurus, which means it's making an exact opposition to that Pluto, which deals with, actually, it can deal with mental abuse in the relationship, but it can also point towards her having or racking up or accumulating lots of debt by way of expensive cars, like gas guzzlers, which is very interesting because Remy spoke on him create, like, I think he had some type of car rental service where he was literally renting luxury cars. That Mercury in Taurus is a luxury vehicle. We're talking gas guzzlers, we're talking vehicles that are very hard to maintain, high maintenance. And yeah, him and actually with her son is making a wider opposition to that Pluto. It further reinforces Remy causing or being the cause of a lot of their debt. So she's not lying about, so far, like, I don't feel like she's lying about anything, like, because you can see all of this. So, like, that's fucking crazy. It can also point towards him or reinforce the theme of him controlling her or trying to control her. It definitely points towards there being physical and verbal abuse, which, I mean, she admitted herself. And it, I feel like Remy is very manipulative. And it doesn't make it any better that her Pluto is conjoined to her asteroid Juno. And Juno is the asteroid that deals with your relationships, the prevalent theme of your relationships, which can make a lot of her relationship with Remy based off of power struggles, control, where he was trying to get the upper hand, or where he was trying to one-up her or dominate her in some way. And, I mean, him bringing a lot of their issues to the public was definitely a power play. It was a power play. It was a manipulation tactic. So, yeah, like, I don't think that Mimi is innocent. Like I said, I definitely think she's dealing with some psychological issues, and she's definitely given to a fault. She's very generous to a fault. But Remy is a piece of fucking work. Period. Also, just side note, that Jupiter conjoined to Chiron is opposing her Uranus and Neptune, which points towards her dealing with sudden upheavals, upsets, and betrayals by way of this universal family she's trying to create. It could deal with her surrounding herself with opportunists and people feeling entitled to her money. Okay? Once again, reinforcing the need, or how imperative it is that she cuts ties with a lot of these people, because she's fucking herself over hard. I agree that she should have got rid of Remy, but he's not the only one she needs to get rid of. And with her being a Leo South Node, she's just very naive. You know, that makes her very naive, very childlike. It also gives her very karmic issues with men. It could also produce issues with her children. You know, there could be some issues with her children going on. It definitely, like I said, deals with her being a gambler, points towards her over the top personality, dramatic and attention-seeking behavior. And just in this lifetime, she's really meant to forge her own path and be a more independent person. Definitely retain that sense of humanitarianism. But here's the thing about Aquarius, though. Unlike Pisces, which is giving to a fault, or even her Jupiter in Cancer, which makes her like this, oh, let's end world hunger, and, you know, I hate to see people down bad. It's Aquarius is very loyal to causes. Like, Aquarius is like, because they're the water bearer and they're all about enlightenment and the collective, they're very noble when it comes to higher causes and activism and making sure that they raise the vibrational frequency of the planet. But on an individual level, the motherfuckers is like, fuck you. Okay, they could be highly disloyal and very much for themselves. Which in her case, she could absolutely use like 3 doses of that shit. You know, that Leo South Node keeps her doing everything from the heart. You know, and sometimes you gotta leave your heart out of it. You really do. Or it's gonna come back to bite you in the ass. So yeah, this video was definitely way longer than I intended it to be, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Drop down in the comment section, let me know what you thought, and, you know, make sure you practice unconditional self-love so that you can love others. All right, and until the next video, I holla.